Okay, this is going to be the Quadratics Unit in Algebra 1 review for your test. If you do this, you should do very well on the test. The first questions, all right, we got to find all this stuff here, okay? Now, the vertex is right there. That's at -6, 0, okay? The x-intercept is also the same thing. The y-intercept is down here, and that's going to be at 0, -6. The 0, since it just touches, means you have two of those. So that's x equals -6 and x equals -6. And if you convert those to factors, that's x plus 6, x plus 6. Okay? The domain, what you do is you go to the vertex. It's to the right and left, so that's going to be all real numbers. Okay? The range, everything is below that, so that's going to be y is less than or equal to, and I use this y coordinate, so that's going to be 0. Okay, and that's number 1. Okay, number 2, my vertex is right here, that's going to be at 0, -2. Alright, my two x-intercepts are here and here. Okay, so that's going to be -1, 0, and 1, 0. My y-intercept is also 0, -2. My zeros are x equals -1, x equals 1. The factors are going to be x plus 1, x minus 1. The domain, if you look to the right and left, that's going to be all real numbers. Okay. The range, everything's above, so that's going to be y is greater than or equal to, I use that y coordinate, which is -2. And there's my answer for those. Okay. Going on to the next ones. Now, these don't have graphs. So what you have to do is you have to use your calculator, okay, to get your answer. Okay? So what I want to do, see if I can balance that. Maybe over just a little bit so you can see all three. Okay, here we go. All right, so I go to menu. All right, I'm going to go into graph. I'm going to type in x squared plus 4x minus 5. And I'm going to draw, okay? All right, if I want to fix that, I can go zoom auto. All right. Okay, so to find the vertex, I'm doing G-solve. Since it goes down like that, that's going to be minimum. So -2, -9. Okay. To find the x-intercept, I'm G-solve root. -5, 0. I hit the over button and 1, 0. -5, 0, and 1, 0. Okay. To find the y-intercept, I'm G-solve y-intercept, 0, -5. Alright, my zeros are x equals -5, x equals 1. Factors are x plus 5, x minus 1. My domain, if you look at this, my domain is going to be here, left and right, it's all real numbers, it's all going up, so that's what the range is going to be greater than, so I'm going to have x such that x is an element of all real numbers. And this one's going to be y is greater than or equal to, I use that y coordinate. Okay. All right, another one here, I'm going to go ahead and graph this one. All right, hit exit, and go up and delete that one. X minus 6. Okay, I'm going to move over so I can see it a little bit better. Okay. G-solve, once again, this is a minimum, so 3, -9. Okay. My G-solve, I'm going to find the x-intercept, which is root, which is 0, 0, and 6, 0. Okay. The y-intercept, G-solve y-intercept, is also 0, 0. My zeros are x equals 0, x equals 6. The factors, that's going to be just x. That's going to be x minus 6. I'm just changing the sign. The domain is still going to be all real numbers. And since it goes up once again, it's going to be y is greater than or equal to. Use this y coordinate. Okay? And that's those answers. All right, go on to the next page. Okay, now, what they want you to do is find the factors. Okay? In order to get the factors, I need these first. Okay? So I've got solutions at x equals -2 and x equals 3. Well, factors are just the opposites. So that would be one of them. and this would be 1. Okay, very simple. Okay, solutions are where it crosses the x-axis. That's what I need. Okay? All right, which of the following is this one? Okay, now, if you notice here, my vertex is at 4, 0. Okay, so what I need to do is figure out which other ones here are at 4, 0. So if I go back and I graph these, okay, I'm going to graph x minus 4 squared. If I graph that, g-solve minimum, I get 4, 0. So that's going to be my answer. Okay, moving right along. Okay, write the following in standard form. Now, these are the zeros. So what I have to do first is convert them to factors. Okay, so as factors, that's x plus 4 and x minus 7. Okay, so that's going to be 4x and negative 7. X times x is x squared. X times 4 is 4x. X times that is negative 7x. 4 times that's negative 28. How you type those in the calculator? 4 minus 7, which is negative 3. So what I have is x squared minus 3x minus 28. These here, that's going to be x minus 2, x minus 10. Okay, so I got x and negative 2, x and negative 10. That's x squared minus 2x minus 10x plus 20. That's x squared minus 12x plus 20. Okay? Alright, because how you would type that into the calculator is negative 2 minus 10. Alright? Go into the next page. Alright, put dots where the solutions are. Okay, here's where my solutions are. Here and here, where it crosses the x-axis. For number 10, 10 and 11, okay, they want us to find the roots. Okay, roots. Now, what you can do here, you can either use the graph or you can go ahead and use the equa. Either way is okay. So if I go to menu, I'm going to use equa for this because this is an equation. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to do the polynomial. It's a 2 degrees, so that's 1, negative 20, and 100. Okay, that's going to be x equals 10 twice. Okay, roots you write like equal signs. Now this one, what I'm going to do there is I'm going to go ahead and graph that one. All right, it makes more sense to graph in that situation. So I'm going to go into menu. I'm going to go into graph. All right, I'm going to delete this one, and I'm just going to type this in: x minus 5. All right, 4x plus 3. Draw. Oh, whoops, I had too many x's in there. Draw. All right, g-solve root. All right, negative 0.75 and negative 5. So negative 0.75. I'll write that here. X equals negative 0.75 and x equals 5. Okay, those are those. All right. Once again, this is an equal. I can either do that or I can graph it. Okay. You can graph this one if you want. I mean, that's another way to do it. Is x squared minus 5x. Draw. G-solve root. X equals 0, okay, and x equals 5. That's a way to get it. You can also, if you wanted to, you could have gone into menu, equation, and typed in 1, negative 5, and 0, and I would have also got those answers. Here, this crosses at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. So x equals 4, x equals 6. All right. So solutions, you write those like that, okay? Once again, here's another one. That's going to be at x equals negative 1. That's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? You can either graph this next one, all right, or I can do 1, 0, negative 9, because there is no x term. All right? And I would get these solutions. All right? You can also go into graph. All right? I got x squared minus 9, draw, g-solve root, x equals negative 3, x equals 3. Either answer is acceptable. Either way of doing it is acceptable. All right, I think that's all on that page. All right, moving on, last step, x-intercepts now. For the x-intercepts, we're going to write those like this. Okay? So, since those are both equations, I'm just going to go ahead and use equa for those. Okay? So I'm going to do menu, equa, polynomial, 2 degrees, 3, 30, negative 48. All right, so 1.4 comma 0 and negative 11.4 comma 0. Okay, this one, all right, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do 2, negative 1, negative 10. My solutions are 5 over 2 and and negative 2, so 5 over 2 and negative 2. Okay? Solve each equation, more of the same. Okay? More of the same, so I'm going to go back, I'm going to do 3, negative 7, negative 6. Solve. I got x equals 3 and x equals negative 2/3. Okay? This next one, all right, I can do x squared. I have no x term, so it's going to be 0. Oops. That should be a 1, a 0, and a 1. Okay? Because I don't have an x squared term. Now, I get that. If you get no real roots, if you get a solution with I in it, that answer is going to be no solution. All right? And our last problem here. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and find these solutions first. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and find these solutions first. So what I'm going to have is I'm going to type in 1, negative 26, positive 52. Okay? And my solutions are 23.8 and 2.1. 23.8 and 2.1. Now, what I have to do is match this. Okay? Now, what I recommend doing, okay? Let's go back to our blank screen. I'm going to figure out what's underneath that square root first. 76 minus 208. Okay? Now, I'm going to take the square root of that, shift that, negative 884. Now, no real, so that means that's no solution for that one. Well, I already know I got the solution, so it can't be that. All right? This one, I'm going to figure out negative 676 minus 56, square root of that. Once again, that's going to be no solution, so I know those are no good. Okay? Now, this next one. Okay? We'll clear those. 676 minus 208. Okay, I'm going to take the square root of that. Okay, so I got 21.6. Okay, so I got something to work with. Okay, so what that means for me is I'm going to add those two numbers. Okay, I'm going to add those two numbers. Move it over here so you can see. Okay, oops, too many of those. All right, I added them, and now I'm going to divide by 2. So 47.6 divided by 2, it gave me 23.8. Okay, now I'm going to do 26 minus 21.6, and then I'm going to divide that by 2. Okay, so 26 minus 21.6, and dividing it by 2, I get 2.2 for my other answer. And if you notice, that's about what I had, so that will be my answer for that. Okay, so the key parts you need to know for this test. If you need to graph anything, you go into menu, you go to graph, okay? All right, G-solve, minimum max to get the vertex, root to get the x-intercepts, y obviously to get the y-intercepts. The other place you want to be accustomed to is going into equal, polynomial, degrees, and typing in the numbers in front. If you go through that review, you should do great.